Okie dokie. Let's. We're going to share my screen. It's not a. It's. I don't think it's a very difficult case, Naomi.
Yeah, I was confused with yeah, one thing. All right, so
Yeah,
she's.
good. Yeah, we're going to. Can you see it?
She's 12 years. 12.
Yep. So she's 12 years old. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, she's 12 years old. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Okay, she's 12 years old. She's very breaky.
Yep.
Breaky.
So yeah, sorry, you're just cutting out a little bit.
Cephalic, class 2 skeletal.
Yep.
The funny thing is she's not that class 2 dentally. On her molars are class 1 on one side and a little bit class 2 on the other.
Yep, and I would agree. I would agree with you totally.
She's got a lower lip trap, a little bit of a lower lip trap.
Yep.
What can I say? The low 1 to MP was 90.
Okay, we'll get to that in a second. Okay. Okay, so she's got a very deficient chin.
The skeletal. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, retruded lower jaw.
Yep. So a fairly retrognathic lower jaw, but very quite a deficient chin. But yeah, she's basically class 1. Yeah, she's very mild class 2. Yeah, some upper and lower.
Yeah, she's not that much off class
1. Not at all. Not at all.
Yes, so upper and lower crowding.
Yep. Okay. And she's got a very deep bite, and she's got a very deep bite, and as you can see, it's the majority of it's due to her very deep curve of spine. Okay. So she's got.
Low arch will determine what I do on the upper.
Okay. She's got a partially impacted.
Yeah, partially impacted
lower 7.
7, yeah.
Okay, so her upper.
So the upper anteriors, well, one was 84 and one's 110. So it just depends which way you trace it.
That's
exactly. Because we've got one retrocline, one procline. So I kind of trace both when I do that.
Okay. I was wondering why you were getting two different numbers.
Yeah, because one's the 2-1, one's the 1-1.
Yeah.
That's all that means. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Which is good because in one way, it
gives you an idea of what's the worst case scenario.
Absolutely. No, that's good. That's very good indeed. Lower in size of 96. That's not too. Anywhere between 90 and 100. Yeah,
but she's got thin biotype, so I was a bit concerned there. If you look at the 4-1 or is it the 3-1, it's already quite. It's got a little bit of gingival recession around it.
Yep. We'll go back to that. And she's got an A and B of 9 degrees. Her width is not too bad.
Width isn't too bad, I know.
Yeah. And the reason being is because of the palatal plane.
Correct.
So that's why the width analysis came into play, because of that palatal plane.
I always go with the width analysis more than I go with
the SNA. I think it's probably a bit more reliable
when you've got a deep curve.
But it doesn't always tell you though as to what would be what's the cause. Is it a maxillary problem or a mandibular problem? But in all honesty, this is something that you'd look at, that you would be looking at clinically. The upper teeth and the upper jaw looks in a pretty good position.
I wouldn't want to retract her in the upper. Her upper, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
she's got a she's got a nice nasolabial angle. So
correct.
So she's got a thin biotype. So what would you be considering in the lower arch?
That's a good question, because that's going to determine what I do, isn't it?
Exactly right.
Yeah. You see, the problem is if you took out one incisor, you're going to deepen the bite more.
You will probably deepen the bite a little bit, but you're still going to level. You're still going to level the bite. You're still going to level the bite. Just hold on 1 sec.
It's all right.
You're still going to, even though theoretically you're going to deepen the bite a little bit, you're still going to level that bite significantly anyway, just through the bracket positioning and
just through the wiring and the bracket. Yeah.
Okay. So you'll deepen the bite once you've levelled that curvus B and then closing any of the residual space.
Okay.
So you'll deepen the bite after that point of levelling that curvus B. Okay, so if you're worried about the thin biotype, yes, you could take out a lower incisor, which then means you're going to end up with some more overjet.
Yeah.
Which then means that you might be able to do something with regards to advancement of the anterior teeth, advancement of the mandible.
As in a functional?
Yeah, but you're going to have minimal overjet. You know, you might have 3 millimetres.
Yeah.
So your question is, you know,
do I extract in the lower arch or not? That's all I'm asking myself.
Well, if you extract the lower arch, you're going to probably need to extract in the upper arch.
I know, that's what I said before. What I do in the lower arch is going to determine what I do in the upper.
Absolutely correct.
Like, that's where I was in a bit of a dilemma.
Yeah. Yeah, this is.
I'm just thinking the only other good thing with the lower arch, the lower 4s and 5s, a little bit inclined lingually, so therefore when you upright them, you gain a little bit more arch.
Absolutely.
Arch circumference, I don't know, could I do some stripping? Could I do a nun-extraction in the lower arch, or is that pushing the boundary?
No, well, I think we should go back to okay. You're in this dilemma. You're in this.
Has she got a Bolton's? I'm wondering. No, I don't think so.
Well, if she has, I don't think it's that bad.
I don't think it's significant. I didn't do an analysis, I'll be honest.
Yeah. But look, you probably do some stripping you'd probably do some stripping anyway in the lower arch.
Yeah, the premolars are a bit big.
Yeah, so you'd probably do some stripping.
If you compare them to the upper, yeah.
My gut feeling here is you go. Yep. I think we get so worked up over patients' profiles.
Yeah.
Right.
They don't see it.
And at the end of the day, we are dentists looking at the teeth, okay, and provided we're not adversely affecting the profile. We're not plastic surgeons here, okay? So provided we're not adversely affecting the profile, because most patients, they're not really caring about the profile, in all honesty, okay? I would be saying, let's just treat this to the best occlusion and dental alignment as you can, okay? Yeah. And then, I'm really jumping the gun here, and then because she's basically class 1 dentally. So treat her to the best result we can dentally, okay? And if she's concerned in the future about her, and we're going to call it her chin position, forget the retrognathia for a second, she could just have a very simple advancement genioplasty if that's a concern in the future.
Yeah.
Okay? So I think you've got to, because she doesn't have enough overjet, or will not have, if she was a significant class 2, then you do a functional appliance.
Dentally. How does someone be such a high A and B? Oh, that's because of the curvus B. All right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's basically because of this very deep curvus B. So, which means you're going to open up the bite quite easily.
Yeah.
And your advantage here is, as you bring your upper right central incisor forward, you can have a reciprocal effect to bring your upper left central incisor back a bit. So you're going to end up, it's going to be pretty straightforward to align these teeth. One of your concerns is going to be, though, is if you look at the difference in the torque of these central incisors. So one of your concerns is going to be at the end of treatment, getting equal torque on these teeth.
Okay.
So that's going to be one of your concerns. So there could be an advantage in doing what we call a high torque bracket on the upper right central, and a low torque bracket on the left central. To try and harmonise that a little bit.
I use when I want to talk. I've got that Rose talking appliance. I find it very helpful if I want to do.
Absolutely.
And I use that on a TMA wire. I find it really helpful.
Yeah, that's fine too. It's always it's just easier if you can do it all the way throughout the treatment.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so that way you have.
No, I'm confused, Jeff. Are you saying to extract or not extract?
I haven't got to that yet. Okay. Okay. My feeling here is I'm going to call this the therapeutic diagnosis. Okay. which means because it really is borderline, and and it really comes down to how much recession we're going to end up getting if we treat this patient non-extraction, which is an unknown factor. You know, everybody's got their opinion here. My feeling would be, because of the occlusal scheme here, and we've got a class 1, let's try and treat them non-extraction to start off with, and reassess it in 12 months.
Yep.
So if in 12 months' time we start to see some recession occurring, then we might need to take out that lower incisor. But
at that point in time, which one would you take out? Because they'd all be aligned.
I would probably still take out. I would probably take out. I think you may say they're going to be well aligned, but I think you're still going to have a root torque issue on either the 4-1 or the 3-2, looking at where the roots are. So I would be assessing it at that time as to which one needs the most torque, and take that tooth out.
Now, just going through your mechanics that we've learned in the last couple of modules, I've never used bite turbos, but I assume this would be a good case.
This would be a perfect case for bite turbos.
Well, I haven't, because I've just
this would be a perfect case.
Putting them on behind the centrals in this particular case, upper centrals.
The problem with putting them behind the centrals in this case is because
only one tooth would hit it.
Well, that's one issue. The other issue is that because it's so retroclined, you put the bite turbo on this upper right central for argument's sake, the bite's going to be so open, it's going to be very uncomfortable. So I would,
7s, maybe?
Well, there are 2 options here. You can either put them on the 7s, but your other issue with the 7s, though,
they're not uprighted.
Your 4-7 is the one that's mildly impacted. So you don't want to make that a restraint. The best option, I think, here is putting them on your upper canines.
Oh, on the lingual of the upper canines.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's still part of that anterior segment, and that's still going to then level that curvus B. Because here we are, that's where the curvus B is. So you put them on the upper canines, and you're going to end up still leveling that curvus B. Okay.
So the only other question was, what was I going to say? I forgot.
Well, there is one other question. Your impacted 4-7.
Yes.
Okay. So one of the things that I would be doing.
Separator?
Sorry?
A separator first?
No. Well, you could, but I don't tend to do that.
Okay.
I would be using double tubes, and I do this anyway routinely, on the 6s.
Yeah.
And then if you lay down the track, let's say you have an issue getting your wires in between the 6 and the 7, which is where you're probably going to lie.
Yeah.
What you can do then is you've got your auxiliary tube on your 6, and you can have a little coil spring or whatever it is.
Yeah,
to push the 7 back.
Yeah, that's what I do too.
Yeah, but just using the auxiliary tube.
Okay.
Because that's really difficult to do if you've got just a single tube on your 6s.
Oh.
Okay, because how do you thread the coil spring on if you've got a single tube on your 6s?
Unless you bypass the 6 and just go from the 5. Just
you
get it upright.
You could do that, but you're going to get.
That's what I've done before, like just to get it upright a little bit, and then
You could do that, but once again, what you want to do is be using your 6, hopefully, to help level your curvus B as well.
Yeah, no, just to disimpact it, and then you go back to putting it.
Okay.
All right, so what else was I going to say? I forgot now. Oh, that's right. Consistent and inconsistent forces.
Yeah.
Again, I've never learned that before, so that's good. The only thing I can think of is the laterals, how they're rotated. That's going to cause constriction of the wire, so you might want to de-rotate that.
If you're talking about both the upper lateral.
Both of them, upper laterals. Yeah.
So the key here is to rotate these as quickly as you can.
Yeah, rotate them first. Yeah.
So
all right.
So you still will get some constriction, but you rotate them first. So you end up as soon as you can with a power chain just on your upper 2 to 2.
Oh, power chain, that'll do it. Yeah.
So you just put your power chain on your upper 2 to 2 as soon as you can. I probably wouldn't do it day 1 here, only because that's going to cause get your upper right central out a bit first.
Yeah.
And then maybe the second visit, then you can put your power chain on and start to derotate it.
And it doesn't take long to derotate with chain.
No, but the other option that you could do is put a lingual button. Day one. What you could do day one, put a lingual button on your upper right fore.
Yeah, because that's a bit rotated too. That would help. Yeah.
And a lingual button on your upper right lateral. So that can start to rotate at day one. And you can probably do the same even on your left hand side as well. So they're all things that will just help you in getting this derotated a lot quicker.
Okay, I got those mini molds. I'm keen to try it.
Yeah, so you use the mini molds, and we always use the 5mm ones.
Okay, 5mm ones.
Okay, we never use the 3. It's easier to trim them down.
Yeah, then build it up.
Build it up.
Excellent.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, look, at least I was thinking on the same track. I was thinking I'm probably going to err on the side of non-exo and see how it goes. Yeah,
and just explain. You've got to put the issue back on it's the patient's problem, and you're going to say, look, I'm going to attempt to treat this non-extraction because that's what all patients want, as we know. Okay, and you say to them, but I can't guarantee it. But we're going to reassess it. Now, the biggest mistake we make is not, and trust me, I've done this many times before, is not reassessing it. And they go 2 years into treatment, and they go, "Oh, you were doctor. You were going to extract. You were thinking about extracting." And you go, "Oh my God, why didn't I do that then?" So make sure you put a note somewhere on that card to remind you, with a date to reassess for the extractions.
Yeah.
Okay. And so that's what Robin does now. We have a big note on the card, and she'll go through the day sheet of the patients for any patient that I need to have a discussion with beforehand, or more importantly, that we need to reassess.
Do you have time to show the Jade Gilbert case, or not really?
The which one?
That one I sent you the other day. I put it also in a PowerPoint.
What's the name again?
Jade Gilbert.
Is it GIB?
Yeah, GILB. Yeah. Remember, I said I knew she had to take out lower fours, but it's a good one for everyone to see because.
Yeah, it actually is. I'm just trying to find it.
I can send it to you again if you want.
I've got it right here. Okay.
Okay. Are my photos okay?
Your photos are really good, actually.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. The only criticism of the photos. Go here. Oh, this is the Jay Gilbert case.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. These are a bit better. The other ones, they weren't as front on. Sometimes
it's hard to retract cheeks. I tell you. There are some patients that are just not retractable.
I know. I know. Okay, so when you look at Jay, she's a little bit
deficient in the upper and very strong chin for a 14-year-old.
Exactly right. So here we are with pretty significant crowding in the lower and very significant crowding in the upper. Okay, and so she's got a class 1 molar relationship on both sides.
I think I did her set.
Sorry?
I did her set analysis. There are some numbers there.
Yep. So I mean, just looking at the set, she looks very dolichofacial.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Without even doing the numbers, the problem is a lot of these sets are being taken with the patient looking downwards.
It's hard because if you look at her soft tissue, that's quite horizontal. If you look at that set and look at the soft tissue, don't look at the bone. Her chin, it looks horizontal to me. So should she still be more up?
Yeah, I think she should be more up.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going from Porion, okay, which is here, to orbitali.
All right, it's a bit down. All right.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the Frankfurt horizontal plane.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So that's all I'm assessing. So upper 1 TNA. So she's a little bit class 3-ish. Yeah.
Width is -2.
Yeah. So she's a compensated class 3, and so that's what we're going to talk about that in our module 7. But she's definitely a compensated class 3.
The good thing is a low one to MP is 95. It's not like it's 85. Otherwise, it'd be in trouble.
Well, you'd be in a lot of trouble.
Yep.
So here we are. some significant lower crowding. So as we were discussing, the first question is going to be, what is your reference arch? Okay. Sorry, I got a couple of questions, so let me answer these questions. Okay. Greg, good to have you back. Okay. So the reference arch has to be the lower arch here. Okay. Because we want to move the upper teeth back to the lower arch. So the first question is, are we going to extract the lower arch? And if we don't extract the lower arch, we're going to bring those lower anterior teeth even further forwards.
Yeah, so, no, it's 100%. You've got to extract. It's got to be lower fours.
Yeah. So we're going to extract lower fours. So the question that, Greg, for your information, the question Naomi was asking, which teeth would we extract in the upper arch?
Yeah.
Okay. And I can't even remember what I said.
You said I wanted upper fives, but she's class 1, so I was a bit. You said, look, you would probably lean towards the fours, and then use elastics to keep her class 1 canines. Yeah. So basically, what I'm suggesting, and I don't think there's a right or wrong here. Okay, honestly, it's just whichever teeth you decide to remove in the upper. Then you're going to need to monitor the anchorage requirements. And always anchorage requirements are something you've got to monitor over time, even with all the best intentions in the world. And the other reason I'm thinking upper fours here, I think that could be just easier to bring down the canines, all that type of stuff. So my thinking is when you retract in the lower arch, those canines are going to go back.
Precisely.
Right? So that's going to create more class 2.
Precisely.
So therefore, logic tells me take out the upper fours.
Exactly. And then
I thought, but I don't want to retract the uppers too much.
Yeah, but all you're doing is you're retracting your upper canine.
I know, to keep it class 1, so it makes no difference. Yes.
Exactly right. And I think you're going to have an easier situation, because your biggest problem is if you take out upper fives and you lose anchorage. Right. So you're more likely to lose anchorage when you take out your upper fives, and then you lose the space to bring your upper canines back to a class 1.
Yep.
And that's
so would you take out the lower fours and start the lower arch first?
Absolutely.
And maybe just put a chain from the 3s to the 6s to bring the 3s back? Or no? Actually, no, that wouldn't help because it's already rotated. Oh no, you could do a button from the inside. Yeah,
you could do a button from the inside. Okay. Yeah. So you could run a button from.
So maybe bypass that lower.
Well, if you took out the 4s, you could run lingual buttons from the lower 6 to that lower canine.
Yep.
Okay. So that will help to derotate your lower.
Would you not engage every single canine so you don't?
Yeah.
You don't lose your overjet.
Sorry, say that again.
Don't engage every lower canine essential at the start, so you don't.
That's right. Exactly. So the other option that you could do is not even put brackets on your lower canine, on your lower.
Exactly. Or put brackets, just don't engage them.
Yeah, you could, but I was going to suggest you could even put a coil spring, which I do quite routinely, between the lower canines.
Okay.
You have no brackets on, and you're just retracting your lower canines until you get sufficient space then to align your lower anterior teeth.
What does the coil spring do just to hold it?
Sorry?
What does the coil spring do just to hold it?
No, the coil spring is going to push your canines back.
Push your canine back. Okay.
Okay, and so you're not round tripping the case by bringing your.
Bring them forward and bring them back. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So that's but the disadvantage of doing that is you're going to in this situation is you're going to rotate your canines a little bit more.
Yeah. So, I think I'll stick to the buttons on the lingual.
But you can do both.
Okay.
You can do both because the buttons on the lingual is going to counteract some of that rotation.
Oh, correct. Yeah.
Okay. So you can actually do both. So bypass, but these are, like I've said before, there's not one right approach.
Yes.
But the principle is we don't want to bring those lower anterior teeth forwards, because then you're going to end up making this edge to edge and round tripping the case.
Yep.
So whatever you do, you want to minimise your engagement of those lower anterior brackets. Okay. And that's why the open coil actually works pretty well, because you can retract them by 3 millimeters, and now you've got the space to bring these low anterior teeth back a bit.
You don't need a lower lingual arch for anchorage, do you? No.
No, because I don't think you're dealing with a maximum anchorage case.
No. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think you're dealing with a maximum anchorage case. But you definitely want to bring them back, at least halfway.
Yep.
Okay.
And then start engaging the upper arch.
Yeah.
So would you do contractions all at once, regardless?
It depends.
Oh.
It depends on how comfortable you feel with the upper 4 extraction approach, because really you should be able to do it on do both at the same time.
Yeah.
The extractions.
Hmm.
Okay.
All right.
And the other problem that you've got here is you've got a minimal overbite.
Yeah.
So this is a case where you would put some posterior bite turbos on the 6s.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay. To help.
She's dolicho, isn't she? But yeah.
Yeah. Well, she's pretty dolicho. Looking at this.
Bite turbos on the lower 6s.
No, I always do bite turbos on the upper 6s.
Oh.
Okay. It's just easier, because all you're doing on the upper 6s is you're putting them into the occlusal fossa. So all you do is you basically get your composite and you just paste it into the occlusal.
On the upper 6s, yeah.
Yeah, it's much easier than trying to build up just the buccal cusp of the lower 6s. So you just basically make a flat plane on the upper 6s, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And the other question you've got is you've got these high canines. So do you just go ahead and
bring them down first?
Yeah, just run some very light class 2 elastics and bring them down
before engaging.
Yeah, because one of the things you're going to have is these are already a bit upright, okay? And so
they free class 2 elastics, yeah.
Yeah. So don't even put brackets on the upper arch.
Yep. No,
just take out the 4s, run some very light free class 2 elastics.
Yep.
What will happen though is your canines are going to tip back distally, okay?
Yep.
Which is not a bad thing here, because then with the 4 system, if your canines are tipped back distally and you're going to put your wire in, you're going to get some extrusion of those anterior teeth.
Oh yeah, that's true, because
so
the wire's going to end up
in more incisal.
Yeah.
So it's actually not a bad thing here if before you put your brackets on, to have your distally inclined canines. If you had mesially inclined canines, you would have a disaster with trying to close up this bite.
Is that because the wire will end up in the
wire will end up right up here because of the mesial tip as well that's in the canine bracket. So the canine bracket's got about 10, 13, depending on the prescription you're using, 10 to 13 degrees of mesial tip. And so a canine which has already got mesial tip and you put your bracket on, the wire is going to sit right up here into the gingival sulcus.
But then that's like, I don't get it though. If it sits up in the sulcus, when you engage it, that's going to procline those anteriors.
You're going to intrude and procline.
Oh, intrude and procline. You don't want the intrusion. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Well, do you want much intrusion here?
Nope.
Okay. But if they're distally inclined, that will help to deepen the bite, which is what. Yeah. So in this case, by bringing the canines back and even tipping them back a little bit distally, is going to help you in the initial stages to get some bite deepening.
Got it.
Because this is, and also the fact that you're extracting teeth and all that type of stuff. So everything is going in your favour now.
It's not a difficult case if you watch your mechanics.
Exactly right. But if you don't watch your mechanics, it's a nightmare.
Mm.
And if
I'm just going at the upper arch, I'm just looking at any other inconsistent forces. You'd put a bit of coil between the central and the canines just to get that lateral in. I'd probably put my bracket on upside down on the lateral.
Yeah, I would do that for sure. But I'm hoping that with your class 2 elastics, that you've taken out your 4s and you're running your free class 2 elastics. Most of that, most of that space will be created just by the distalization of that upper of the
Oh yeah, that's right. When you're pulling it back, yeah. That's a good case. I like it.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Jeff. You're amazing.
That's a pleasure, Naomi. Yeah, but it's an interesting case, and you're totally right. If you plan your mechanics, it's going to be a pretty straightforward case.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it.
If you do what most people do, I'm going to put my brackets on all the upper and lower teeth.
Yeah.
And I'm going to engage them. You're going to have all these things happening, and you would get out of control. And so this could be a simple case or a really difficult case. So, but make sure you put your pipe turbos on. Okay, guys, I'll let you have your day off, and we will see you next week.
Thanks, Jeff, once again. I really appreciate your help. You're amazing. See you in a couple of weeks, I think.
Fantastic. Look forward to it. See you, Naomi. Take care. See you, Greg.